morning, beautiful, and welcome to a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus. We're going to be spending about the next 45 minutes together enjoying Jesus with some beauty on the inside and some beauty on the outside with a step-by-step full-face makeup tutorial. So the foundation verse for this podcast is going to be Psalm 119, verse 11. I have hidden your word in my heart that I might not sin against you. And if you've been hanging with me for any amount of time, I hope that you were able to say that with me this morning. So if not, you've got a little project to work on. All right. So this morning, I think they have adjusted our music just a little bit. Let me do that. Better? Okay, there we go. All right. So we have been working our way through Psalm 34. And last week, we worked on we actually went back a little bit because we'd been working on 3 through 9. And we took a step back and started that psalm with verse 1. There we go. And so we started out kind of at the beginning of the thought with that, hence the ... So verse 1, I will bless the Lord at all times. His praise will continually be in my mouth. So that was our verse from last week. And this week, so that was verse 1. Now we're going to go to verse 2. So verse 2, we are looking at my soul makes, my soul, there we go. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. So we're going to work on that together this week. At the end of our time together, we'll kind of review over all of that together. So let me get our verse scrolling across the bottom of the screen. There you go. Now I can hear some of you dinging with me already. So let's just get over there. There we go. Good morning. Welcome to you. Yes, I know we're starting a little bit late this morning. Long sob story. I won't share too much with you, but if you have been with me any length of time, you know that I have a koi pond in my backyard. And this morning when I woke up, it was about half empty. So had to take care of the fish first. So their lives literally depended on it. So it looks like everybody's going to be okay. And thank you so much. I see you all sending thanks. I hope everybody's doing okay. So it looks like everybody's going to be fine. All right. So we are going to jump in. No pond after I just talked about a pond, but we're going to jump in with both feet today. Our theme for today is going to be I live, I love ice. And that's just a fancy way of saying Juvia's place. And that is specifically going to be a Juvia's Place blue look today. We're also going to try out a new MAC lip balm that has some color payoff. So look forward to and literally I have not even tried that lip balm myself yet. So I'm excited to see what that does for us. So again, we've got, I always have a tissue in my lap. You never know when your eye is going to water, when you're going to need to wipe something off. You've over foundationed your brush, whatever the case may be. Just save yourself the sorrow and the heartache and stick a Kleenex in your lap. Okay, so we're going to start out with our POREfessional. This is going to be the matte primer. This is their newest one that they have just launched. And things I love about this, very lightweight. If you have combo oily skin, or you just like a nice matte finish, this is beautiful. So give it a little bit of shake before you start. We're going to uncap it, and you're just going to put about that much on the tip of your middle finger. Then we're going to work it together and put it any place where you have pores, fine lines, wrinkles, any place where your foundation has a tendency to separate. Maybe you have a little oiliness that happens about halfway through the day. Maybe you have oiliness all the way through the day. Whatever the case may be, just kind of tap that where you want it, and you'll already feel that mattifying power of that primer. Love that. Love that. All right. So now we're going to use our concealer, and this is going to be anywhere you got something you don't want. So you have acne scarring, do that. You have redness, do that. You have darkness like I do here and maybe in the corner of your eye, do that. We're also going to kind of work it out onto our eyelid and let it be like a primer base for our eyeshadow. So I am using the Bye Bye Under Eye. I am the shade 11 Light Nude. And you can make sure you get a good shade match for that. You want it 1 to 2 shades lighter than what your foundation is. So it lifts that area just a little bit. We don't want that like white look thing happening. So that's why I said 1 or 2 shades. But you do want it just a little bit lighter. So when you get your foundation over the top of that, it's going to stay elevated. So we just got a little bit here. We're going to tap that on. I do not like the darkness under my eye. I don't like the darkness in there. I don't like the redness on my nose. And then I got redness on top of my cheek too. So we're just going to get a little bit of that everywhere. And this blends out better when you let it warm up to your body temperature just a smidge. Hence the talking while it was on my finger and the talking while we got it on our face. So you can go ahead and use your foundation brush for this. So I'm going to use this one. This is the It Cosmetics Airbrush Blurring Foundation number 101. So we're just going to use that fluffy end and blend that out. Yes, good morning to you too. And just blend that right up to that eyeline there. And then for me, I'm going to blend that out onto the top of my cheek. Let's get some of that redness reduced. We're going to blend that out onto the eyelid. Blend that out up into the forehead. There we go. Once you've got that all blended, you can see as you take a step back, how everything's like an even playing field now. So when you put your foundation on, it's going to be able to do its coverage job a little bit more effectively. Speaking of foundation, today we're going to be using the Urban Decay. Sorry, listen to my words. The Urban Decay, this is the Face Bond Foundation. This is the number 5 Fair Neutral. And your call how you want that matched. Some people like their foundation a little bit lighter than their skin. Some people like a little bit darker. Some people like it exactly the same. Your call how you want that. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just the answer that you like for what you prefer. So I'm just going to take that. I was giving it a shake up while I was talking. I'm just going to give that a little bit on here. About that much right there. And that's going to do the whole like bottom of my face. Just going to dab it out. Just kind of distributing that color around in sort of a large scale. And then we can blur it in to where we want it exactly. Making sure to get around that nose, right around the lips. And then along that chin line, we want to blend that out so there's not a line to your chin there. We're going to work it in and around our concealer that we put in there. I also have some kind of like, I don't know, foldy thing happening right in here. Some of you may call it a wrinkle. I'm going to call it a foldy thing. Okay, so there we go. We're going to blend it into our hairline. You're not getting it like all gooped into your hair. You don't want to see your hair looking like all discolored, especially if you have darker hair. Then we're going to use just a little bit more. About that right there. And dab that out on our forehead. There we go. And getting that into that hairline, just like we did on the sides, down to the brows. Working it into that concealer we put right there. There you go. Just blend it in. If you need to get a little bit closer so you can look and make sure. Yes, that's the sound of my brush handle hitting my mirror. How to know when you are into your work. All right. Once you have got that all nice and blended out, this you could do just like that. It is self-setting, so you don't need to do anything else, but I kind of like a powder just because I'm a combo and I don't want to feel all that. So I am using the Laura Mercier, and then I'm going to be using the Beauty Blender. It's not a sponge. Puff? Okay, so this is the translucent, this is the blurring powder from Laura Mercier. Oh, let me get a little bit down. This one, when you shake it down, it gives you a pretty good amount in the little reservoir. So, ooh, yep. So just make sure you're a little bit careful with the blending and or the tapping that you're doing on that, because a lot will come out. We're going to use the pointy part of that blender and get that in and around the eye area first. Actually, there's no magic here. If you want to start somewhere else, knock yourself out. Okay. Gonna go pointy tip over here on this side. There we go. Right up to that eye area. Now I'm going to switch to the bigger end of this. We're going to work down the center of the face. Great question. Why use a puff instead of a brush? Personal preference. No wrong answer. I think that a brush fluffs a lot out into the air unnecessarily. My least favorite chore of all chores is dusting. So if you use the round fluffy end of a puff, you don't end up with the fluff into the atmosphere and expensive dust. Just personal preference. If you prefer a brush, please go ahead and use a brush. I do use a brush though if I'm doing a touch-up like halfway through the day or something. That will be a brush. Just so it doesn't disturb what you got going on. And we're gonna set that right below the chin where we had it too. Every place you put that foundation, you're gonna put that setting powder. And now our last is to finish out our forehead. And just press that in. Not too much. You're just trying to set it in without disturbing that foundation. Okay, now we have an even playing field and all over one color. So a beautiful place to start with the colors that we want, where we want them. So I am going to start out by grabbing this It Cosmetics brush, and it no longer has a number. I have no idea. It's actually a foundation brush, but we're going to use this end for the bronzer, and then we're going to use this end for the highlighter. Speaking of bronzer, we're going to be using the Benefit Hoola Bronzer. Love the shade of this. I know I'm already to pan, but you know there's still product in there. So we're going to use the wide side of this and just do one side, put that side up. And then we're going to go from about the top of your ear to right around here, which is kind of level with your nose. So we're going to stay just above the hollow of your cheek and then right up the side of that temple. Same thing on the other side. Still using the flat side, right up here along that hairline. Now we're going to switch to the skinny side. With a neutral face, you're going to run from your ear to about the corner of your mouth. Man, I am goofy today. I don't know what is going on. All right, from an ear to about the corner of the mouth, right under that jawline. This is going to increase the visual effect that you have a more cut jawline and less of chins. So still using that flat side, we're also going to do that same thing along the side of our nose here. And if you feel like you need a little more, go ahead and do that now. And then we're going to use our highlighter. And for me, that's going to be the Juvia's Place. This is the Tribe Highlighter Volume 3. Like this one because it's kind of a nice champagne sort of color. Has a little bit of sparkle, but not like glittery. So if you're afraid of glitter at all, this is kind of a good balance for you. For those of you who say, oh, but I'm too old to have sparkle. If you like sparkle, have sparkle. That's my personal opinion about it. Okay, so we're going to use the fluffy end of the brush. And we're going to go across the top of that cheekbone right there and right beside the brow. And then we're going to take that a little bit and work right down the center of the face. Make sure you hit that cupid's bow good because that's going to help your lip look like it's a little bit more fuller and also give more of an illusion to look up to that top lip. So for those of you that have maybe a smaller top lip, which as you age has a tendency to get smaller first, that is definitely going to help give you kind of a plumped look without, what's that stuff called? Botox. There you go. All right. So now we're going to switch to a blush brush. This is a MAC something something. So just a regular traditional blush brush. Today we're going to be using the Juvia's Place. This is the Volume 4. And I know we're doing blue and all that. And I know we've been sitting in this lighter color. But for today, we're going to do this one. You know, why not? So these are highly pigmented. So you only literally need a couple of taps. So just tap, tap. That's all you need. So we're going to go between the bronzer and the highlighter right there. And then between them right here. Oh yeah, today needed that. Same thing on the other side. Tap, tap. Ooh, Phoebe's talking. And then whatever's left on there. Tip of the nose. Chin. Like just a little bit. Don't need to dip it in for that. Just whatever's left on the brush. We just want to blend out that color a little bit. You feel you need a little more. Go ahead and do that. All right. So now your contouring is complete. See, that was super simple. You don't need to make it too complicated. So since we have finished our contouring, let us say our verse together. So you've got it scrolling across the bottom of your screen there. And yes, I am learning this verse with you. So let's wait till it comes around. There we go. You ready? My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. So we'll be working on that all week long. So that'll get better as we go along. So now we're going to look at our lips. Now, you know, I am all about lip liner usually, but today I'm going to fully immerse myself in this new MAC. So this right here is the MAC Glow Play Tender Talk Lip Balm. And this is the shade 465 Photogenic. And it is just a beautiful pink color. This is supposed to give you hydration, supposed to give you a color payoff, just be a nice, you know, almost a, what do you call, well, it's a lip balm. So it's like a repair for your lip, well, a moisture for your lip, as well as giving you color. So let us try that. We're just going to put it straight on. I'm not going to use a lip liner or anything. So here we go. Well, it does have a little bit of color. Now, I will say, just because I prefer a little bit more colorful lip, you can see what it looks like just like that. But I'm going to take that off and let's do a lip liner with it and see what happens. So let's just dab that off. There we go. And let's use, this is the NYX retractable lip liner, and this is the shade Hot Pink. So let's do that and then put that balm back on. There you go. Just because I like a nice, clean, colorful edge. Okay, now we're going to come back in and, well, you know, since we're doing it, let's just smudge with what we've got. Let's not add more. Okay, so I'm just going to take the tip of my middle finger and blend out the inside edge of that liner. Just to soften that line ever so slightly. Now we're going to go back in with that lip balm. I do like the way it feels so far. So again, we've got that, was it 465 Photogenic? Here we go. Let's put that back on. Okay. And you can see that that has a nice amount of color. So that's kind of a nice, I wish I had had this on my mission trip, because I feel like that's a nice color payoff. And it's not sticky at all. Doesn't feel like it's going to move around. So if you have fine lines and wrinkles by your lip, I don't think it's going to creep out. So feel good about that. So now let's jump into the fun. And I just realized I have not even grabbed a single eyeshadow brush. So let's introduce the palette and then I'm going to grab some. Here we go. So this is I Love Ice. And today we're going to be living here and here, here. Well, actually, we're going to use everything but that. How about if I say that? We're going to use all these colors here. And I'll let you know which ones we're using as we go along. Let me grab my eyeshadow brushes so that we can get our eyeshadow groove on. You ready? Here we go. All right, that's just a whole lot, a handful of everything. So let us start out with a all-purpose fluffy brush. This is going to be a nice big fluffy one. This is the Morphe M441. So we're going to use that one, and we are going to start out in this right here and just give it a little swirl, and we're going to work that right along that brow bone up here. And that's just going to give us a nice, I mean, it's blue, so you can say neutral, but it's just going to give you a non-color color to blend into. All right. And then we want a little color on the lower part of the eye. So we're going to use an all over shadow brush. This one is a Morphe M166, a little bit wider. And we're going to use this color right here. Yeah. Actually, I take that back. Let's take a angled brush. Well, I didn't grab one, so let's do this. I'm going to take the M224. This is a little bit flat, and we're going to use the edge of that right there, that part right there. And that's going to go in this one here. And we're going to get that right on that bone. There you go, and switch to the flat part of that, blend that out just a little bit. Same thing on the other side. You can see that's kind of got a little bit of iridescent to it. Move to the flat side, blend that out. An angled brush would have been easier for this project. And then we're also going to take that and bring it down here, about halfway across, without poking it in your eye, preferably. It happened. So about halfway, and bringing it to that outside corner. On that outside corner, we're going to fill it in. So when you close your eye, you've got like a V kind of thing happening right here. Okay. Now we're going to take this one right here, and we are going to use just a regular all over shadow brush. This one is going to be the, oh, this is actually a MAC. I think it's, I don't know, $2.99, $2.69, $2 something something. Okay, so this one here, and we're going to fill in the void that we just left. Oh, that's got a little pink on there. That's super fun. Just use your tissue to dab that off on the palette if that should ever happen. Evidently, there was a little bit of pink residue left in this brush. Then it mixed with the blue. What are you going to get if you mix a pink and a blue? That's right. You're going to get kind of a lavendery purple color because red and blue make purple. Okay, so better washed off. There we go. Now we're going to grab that lighter color. Both sides of the brush you can use. That's fine. And we're going to put that right in here. And actually, while that swatch looked nice and light, let me try this one instead. Yeah. Okay, I switched to this one here. The swatch on that one looked nice and light, but when I actually got it on, it's a little bit on the darker side. So we're just going to fill in that whole area with that lighter color. There we go. And I feel like I want a little more delineation between the light and the dark. You can see it sort of looks a little monochromatic. So I'm going to grab a smudger. This is a Real Techniques. What is the number on this one? 087. And it's kind of in a oval smudger. So we're going to do that. We're going to go back into this color here. And we're just going to get it on the edge of that. And we are going to add a little more color payoff on that crease. There we go. Much better. Right in that crease like that. Now you can see more of the definition between the light and the dark. Now, because I did that, we're going to come back in with that original brush we were using, and we're just going to blend out the top of that a little bit nicer. There we go. Okay. Now you're going to have your fluffy brush, and we're just going to dust out any of that fallout that has landed there. And we are going to, actually, I think what we're going to do is put the liner on first and then work on the shadow on the bottom. So I am going to grab my Too Faced Killer Liner. This is in the color Killer Black. We're going to line the top about halfway, the bottom about halfway, and then we'll do the shadow on the under of the lid. So we're going to go from here to about halfway. Here we go. About the outside corner. To about halfway. And now we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. We're going to go from the outside corner to just, I think, about 2/3. And you're going to stay right where your lash root is on the skin. Same thing on the other side. Right along that lash line. And we want it a little nice and thin. But we are going to blend that out here in just a minute. Looks like one side's a little farther than the other. There we go. Okay. So now that we've got that there, we are going to add some shadow to the bottom and blend that out just a little bit. Now, I prefer a bulleted smudger to do this as opposed to the oval one that we just were. I don't know. It doesn't put so much product. You have less fallout, and I just like the control you get with it. So we're going to start out in this blue color that we were using. You're just going to get it on the tip of that smudger. You're going to start on the outside corner and run right along that line that we just did. But just go about that 3/4 of the way. And then blend that out. There you go. You can come up around that corner and help increase that coverage on the outside and the depth you've got in the inside. Right here at that V. Okay, now still using the smudger, we're going to come to the inside where we left it. And we're going to go to this lighter color that we were using. Actually, no, let's do this one here. It's a little bit darker, but I think it'll be great. So while you weren't looking, I dabbed off the tip of my bullet, and we're going to come in here and we're going to add that right here from the edge to that darker color. And it looks like, I'm gonna grab my little bullet there and erase that little extra fallout that was happening. There we go. So you're gonna blend those right there. Nice. Now, you could leave well enough alone and stop there, but no, what fun would that be? So this color right here, we are gonna use that on the inside, right about where we have, where we added that lighter color. So I'm going to grab a flat detail brush. This is the Morphe M410. It's just a nice flat, kind of behaves like your finger. So we're going to use this one right here just to do the inside, and then we're going to use our finger for the rest. So we're just going to tap it in and get a little bit of that glitter on there and just put it right there. And then tap it in and just set it. We're just going to do the inside corner. If we stick our finger in there, it's going to be all goopy. So we're just going to put that there and then switch to your finger. You're going to tap it in and then press it on. Tap it in, press it on, right over the top of that light color that we had. And we're going to get it all the way up there like that. Same thing on the other side. Oh. Yes, that is true. You could use the NYX glitter. Hold on, let me speak here. You could use the NYX glitter medium on here as well. That would help it just a little bit. Like I left my brushes, I just happened to leave that over there. So this is suspended in a glitter medium of sorts. So, I mean, it won't hang as tough as the NYX one, but it'll do for today and what we're doing. And you can see this glitter has different sizes of flecks in it. That's so cute. Okay, now we gotta get all that glitter off the tip of our finger, get all that fallout out of there. You find your fallout's not liking that thing, get your bullet out. There we go. Your bullet can get rid of it. Okay, so you can see we've got the blue, we've got that lighter blue, we've got the, it needs to stick right there. There we go. Nice. Okay. So now that we've got that on, I am going to thoroughly try to get that glitter off that tip of my finger, lest I end up transferring it all over my face. That will could happen. I'm not saying that's necessarily a bad thing, but it could happen. Okay, so we are going to add our liquid eyeliner now. This is the Too Faced Better Than Sex liquid or was it long lasting liquid easy glide waterproof liquid liner. And store this upside down so your tip is always moist. And we're just going to add that liner on the top. We're going to go from the outside edge, just a nice thin line all the way to the inside corner. Nice thin line. I'm not going to be wearing lashes today. We're just going to do mascara. And so this will just help give a little more definition to our eyes. So same thing on the other side. Okay. Woo. And my eye is already watering, so I'm going to try to fan that down so it can dry faster. There we go. And I see we got a little bit of that. There we go. Now we're going to do our brows. So whatever brow product you are using, you're going to do that. I have, well, it's fading out a little bit. I'll get some pink in there later today, but because I have fashion colored hair, I am going to be using the NYX Jumbo, hold on, what is it? Jumbo Eye Pencil Crayon. And this is in the color Cupcake. When you have fashion colored hair, you got to do what you do to get your brows to match or not. But I like that. So lip liner, eyeliner, eyeshadow, just using a brow brush. You can use a colored pomade. You can use a liquid eyeshadow, you know, lots of choices. My opinion is if it's good on your face, you can use it anywhere on your face. So, you know, do what you gotta do. So we're going to use this in the shade Cupcake, and we are going to do our brows with that. So following that natural brow line. And then on the other side. The great thing about using an eyeliner or something like that is it's a little abnormal. So people are expecting a little abnormal. So if it's a little off, if you've got, you know, longer tail than most people do, you like it a little more towards the inside edge, people are already expecting something crazy from you. So just do something crazy. Then we're going to use our brow brush, and we're just going to make sure everything is where we want it and it is evenly distributed and that we got a nice tail. Kind of come over here. Same thing. Nice tail, evenly distributed. All right. It seems I have lost the lid to that, so we won't worry about that. Okay. And I think I am feeling just a smidge of an eye watering over here. So let's just dab that. And I see a little glitter fleck right there. So we're going to grab that. So what do we do now? We are now to our lashes. So like I said, I got a lot to do today, which includes going out and fixing the rest of the koi pond. So I am not going to be wearing false lashes today. So here's what we're going to be using. We are going to be using the Too Faced Better Than Sex Floor Play Primer and the Monsieur Big Waterproof Mascara and our velour tool for curling our lashes. So lash curling. Let's take that lash curler. We're going to get it on our lash. When you crimp down, you do not want this pinching your eyelid. If it's pinching, release it. Then pull it out just a smidge and clamp it down again. You want it to be just to the outside edge of pinching pain. And that is how your lashes are going to get curled, not your eyelid get pinched. So go ahead and find your sweet spot. Oh, let me get to where I'm going to be able to see. There we go. So get that on there, find your perfect spot. So we're going to find it just right. You want it just outside of that pinch area. Here we go. And we're going to say that verse twice together. You ready? Here we go. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. One more time. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. Okay, let it go and do the other side. Here we go. You ready? Find that sweet spot. There we go. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. Do that again. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. All right, you are all curled now, so let's get that primer on before anything has a chance to sprung. So I like this primer because it has, although it doesn't say it has fibers, I swear it's got fibers in there. So we're just going to cover all the lash with the primer. And it's going to give you more volume when you get your mascara on. And if you were wearing false lashes, you could literally just wear this. I haven't found it to run or anything like that, but it's not like a water, I don't think it's called a waterproof formula. So maybe it's just water resistant. All right. And we're going to put that on the other side as well, covering the front and the back of the lashes. Making sure we get that inside and outside corners. There we go. And I like volume on my bottom lashes as well. So we are going to use that primer on our bottom lashes. So I am just going to do that, get coverage there. Make sure to sweep back up under the tips there, so you get the best possible coverage. And that's just going to help those bottom lashes be nice and full to mirror what you've got on the top. So we're going to put that in. Let's do the other side. Touch your face, wipe it off. Okay, so now your lashes are all primed and you are ready to grab that Monsieur Big, and this is the waterproof formula. Now remember that all these products that I'm using, you can view in the show notes. If you are on like Apple Podcast or YouTube, well, actually it's not YouTube, Apple Podcast or my website, they're actually clickable links to make it a little bit easier for you to find the exact right product. Occasionally, there might be a product that I use that they change a formula, don't like it, or they don't sell anymore. And so I have found a product that is comparable to it for you. So just click on that link and it'll take you to what is the best for that look that you're trying to get. So Monsieur Big, we're going to cover the top and bottom, well, or the front and back, I guess I should say, of the lashes on the top. This is a wonderful waterproof formula. You are going to need a waterproof mascara remover to remove this because it does hang tough. All right, then we're going to switch to the other eye. Making sure we get that inside corner. And we're sweeping back on the tips there. Oop. But not up there. There we go. Using the tip of that to get that outside corner of the lashes. And then using the tip to catch the inside. There we go. Now I'm going to do a coat on the bottom lashes. I usually only do the primer and just one coat on the bottom lashes. Using that tip again to get to that outside corner. And then we'll do the bottom on the other side. And Alexa is talking in the living room. That's interesting. All right. And now we're going to do another coat on the top lashes just because I like nice and thick lashes. If you don't want to do that, you can skip this step. I just like them nice and thick on that top. All right. Nice. All right. So looks like we are now at a bare minimum with that glitter fall out. So that is awesome. Let me get us down back here. So let's go ahead and say our verse together while we are waiting for our lashes to dry. So our verse for today again is going to be yeah, there we go. No, that's last week's. There we go. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. I'm telling you, I am learning this verse right along with you. This is true, real time. My soul makes its boast in the Lord. Let the humble hear and be glad. Psalm 34:2. All right. So now we've done all this work. We've got a beautiful eyeshadow look happening on. We've got a nice lip look going on. We've got our foundation set. We got our contouring. We got our blush going on. Now we don't want to touch it for the rest of the day, right? I want to be one and done and then take it off when I go to bed. So I'm going to be using the Juvia's Place Ready, Set, Sealed. This is a primer. Give it a little bit of a shake and then we're going to spray that down. Man, I love the smell of that. We're just going to fan it down until it dries, mainly because I got eye allergies and I don't want it to set anything off on my face. Okay, so now that we've got that done, we are all good to go for the rest of our day. So it has been a joy to hang out here with you today. Thank you so much for being with me, whether you're joining me live online, right? I'm pointing over there because that's where the chat's going on. It has been a joy to hang out here with you today, whether you are live online with me or you are watching this as a recording later on. Thank you so much. I look forward to chatting with you throughout the week at a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Any of the social media platforms, I think you're pretty much going to find me. All of a sudden, I'm seeing a lot of activity in Threads too. So if you're on there, man, thanks so much. All right, so we are going to go back over here. We're going to turn that off. And let's look at our verse review of what we have been working on so far. All right, and that is our verse review of what we have done so far. I think actually was missing last week's verse on there, but you get the point. All right, so again, you can find a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus on your favorite podcast platform. I look forward to seeing you throughout the week. So let's take a look at our blessing. Okay, and that is going to come from Numbers, chapter 6, I believe it is. And you know how much I love scripture and songs. So if you know it, sing it with me because I just love this. Okay, you ready? The Lord bless you and keep you. Make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift his face toward you and give you peace. Oh, Heavenly Father, how much I am so grateful for everyone that has hung out here with me live, that has asked questions while we were working online, and those who will watch it later on. Father, I just thank you so much for them, and I pray a special blessing on them this week as we work through Psalm 34. It has been such a great time getting to spend time in song, in scripture. And I thank you for those who you have given the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to create those together for us. The Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir, great rendition of that song. Father, I just thank you for that. I just pray that you would help us to be diligent about memorizing these verses, that we would hide them in our hearts so that they would be ready and accessible for us as we go throughout our week. Whether that is us telling something to ourselves, your Holy Spirit revealing something to us, or us sharing that with someone as we are talking online or we are in our daily lives. Father, I just thank you so much for each and every one of these beautiful women. And I just pray that you would be with them this week. Give them an extra measure of blessing as we work on this week. And I pray all these things in the great name of Jesus. Amen. Well, it has been a delight to get to hang out with you. I definitely will be praying for you throughout this week. Look forward to seeing you on social media and hope that you just have a great rest of your day. So in the meantime, have a beautiful day. I'll see you on a little bit of makeup and a whole lot of Jesus.com. Goodbye for now. And God, I love you. Mwah.